welcome to episode 288 of the Ben Briggs podcast. I am Ben Briggs. It is Thursday, people. I know I'm 2 days late. It is Thursday the 4th of May. Holy fucking shit. 2023. And you may be able to hear from my dulcet tones that my voice is still fucking fucked. This fucking cold refuses to back down. It's putting in one hell of a fight, isn't it? It's hanging around. That's what I'm telling you. It's putting in one hell of a fight. I'm coughing up fucking shit. I am making my own fucking chewing gum at the moment, people. Have that image in your fucking heads right now. I'm still feeling fucking rough, man. Yesterday, I had a little kip about like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and woke up this morning at 3 o'clock this morning. I had 12 hours flat out. And I tell you what, I felt like absolute fucking shit. I don't know what that is. Is that an age-related thing? I have no idea. Whether that's... I seem to go more than 8 hours sleep and I wake up feeling like shit. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's my body manifesting my laziness and working against me and aching. But, I fucking woke up fucking hot, sweaty. So there's some sort of vicious virus or cold going around. I haven't even bothered checking for COVID. Nobody does that anymore. Hey, hey, lame ass. You still checking to see if you got COVID, have you? Yeah. Still living in the past 3 years ago. But anyway, yeah, so you're going to have to put up with, unfortunately, you're going to have to put up with my my gruff voice for the remainder of this episode. On the 4th of May, Star Wars Day as well, isn't it? All the geeks out there creaming their fucking little panties today, and they, because it's Star Wars Day, they get all excited. Yeah. You still want to be a kid, do you? But that's not how the world works, yeah? You got to grow up, get a fucking job, take off the fucking robes, put down the lightsaber, get out there, get a fucking job. Most of them have got a job, aren't they? With their little collectibles that they got. You got some little bobblehead figures, have you? Yeah? You got them still in the packaging? Attached to your walls? Yeah? I don't know. Star Wars Day. I quite like Star Wars, though. I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I was there from the start, you know what I mean? Born in 77, first film comes out in 77. I think the first film I remember is Return of the Jedi when that came out. Whenever that was, in the 80s, what was it, 83, 84, something like that, I don't know. I'm a big fan of Star Wars, but I don't fucking, I don't wank myself off about it all the time. I couldn't think of anything worse than going to a Comic-Con, really, where everybody's just over the top. Anybody who's over the top, enthusiastic about anything is fucking annoying in my isn't it? There's a certain level of appreciation for things where you can see, oh yeah, I'm quite into that, because it becomes a one-upmanship, doesn't it? With it, it's like when a celebrity dies, everybody has to prove how much they liked a celebrity, especially when it's a singer. They'll find the most obscure song that somebody has created as part of their back catalogue, and then they'll bring that out to show how dedicated of a fan they were. And it's the same thing for anything like that. Anything like Star Wars or fucking, Hey man, do you know in the Bad Batch, this certain thing happens and that relates to something else that happens in the fucking sequels that were fucking written in 1977 and come out then? No, I didn't realise that. I just sit and enjoy the films, or I don't enjoy the films, or I just block out Jar Jar Binks or whatever. Anyway, let's have a little bit of coffee, see if this lubricates the old tonsils there. So I'm struggling a little bit with a voice. I've got a gig tonight. I'm over in Stanwick, tonight. Hopefully there won't be any complaints. Holy fucking shit! I've had a fucking week of this, baby. Holy shit! Nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you when you're an artiste you're gonna get complaints, do they? Go on, Ben. Go out there. Live your dreams. You write the material you want to write. We live in a society where people have died for freedom of speech. But if you fucking say something that somebody doesn't like, they're gonna fucking try it. We live in a fucking society of grasses. That's what we do these days. Everybody's trying to drop each other in the fucking shit over something. And old Benny boy, the old Ben Briggs complaints hotline has been running red this week, baby. Running fucking red. We've had 2 complaints this week about gigs last week. So we're 2 for 2 at the minute. Things are going well. That's not a bad batting average, is it? You know, all of a suddenly people are... And they were totally different things. One was like about mentioning Auschwitz in a joke that uses that as an analogy to show... I know this isn't interesting. I know you shouldn't explain jokes, but I've got it for you. Used as an analogy to show how selfish fucking people were in the pandemic, and how virtue signalling they were, and self-promoting they were during the pandemic. So I use an analogy with regards to Auschwitz. That fucking, that went. Somebody got offended by that, offended on behalf of other people, because they just had a little trip to Auschwitz. If you'd have seen the things over there, you would have took a different aspect. I've fucking seen the documentaries. I'm not denying that it happened. I'm not taking the piss out of the victims for that. And then the second one was just taking a piss out of people who died of COVID. I'm assuming the Auschwitz line was fine with them, and that this was the same promoter, by the way, who got contacted by both of these. So he's a fucking lovely bloke as well, and he's been dealing with fucking shit because of me all week. I feel quite bad about that. I was actually going to respond to the first one, the Auschwitz one. And I did genuinely think of responding. I didn't, because they emailed me direct, but I was going to respond. Do you realise my grandparents were over there then, and they had to work 12-hour shifts for very little pay, no bank holidays, Jesus, and just watch him fucking explode. Here, email. Oh, fuck off. It would have made me laugh, just be like fucking, just to say that. But I didn't. I respected the promoter was dealing with it, so I didn't reply, even though they emailed me direct on that one. The other one didn't email me direct, but I don't know. Describe me as the worst sort of human. I think. I mean, in the vast context of human history, I don't know if I make it into the top. What would you say the worst is? Usually like the 1%, isn't it? I'm not sure I make it into the worst people of 1% in history, but you never know. There's an awful lot of good people who have lived. That might bump me up the charts. I don't know. Let's have some coffee and. So the old good afternoon, Ben Briggs complaints line. How may I help you? Yes. Yes. The title of the email that sent through was the Holocaust, which it's never going to be good. That is it. Even if somebody's sending through Hey Ben, I hear you mentioned Auschwitz the other day. I don't know if you've seen this documentary. It's really interesting. And then titled that "The Holocaust." Um, it's never going to be a good email with that title, is it? I imagine, yeah, there's letterheads buried somewhere in Germany with those sort of those sort of fucking titles on them. Jesus. But the weird thing about this is you can either do what you believe and you find funny, or you make the choice to do it one way or the other. You either, you're all out in what you believe in and what you want to do, or you you compromise yourself and compromise what you find is funny just to suit certain audiences. I mean, particularly people hadn't gone there to see me, to be honest. They'd gone there to see a TV headliner who is very good, but he's a very different act to what I do. But I can't go out there. You don't go out there and to offend people. You go out there to make people laugh, whether they, you know, misquote you and that sort of thing, like in your material. Which when the second one come through, there was a lot of stuff there that I was like, well, they're not the exact words I used. You got to take into account the exact words you use, the fucking context, the way you say it, the fact that it got a big laugh on the night, because it's like, it's clearly ridiculous. The stuff about COVID, it's clearly a ridiculous thing to say. Most people got it. It clearly went over these people's heads. The thing is, people apply, if you can do a joke about cancer. It can be a fucking cracking joke. Some woman or guy who's sitting in the audience who's got a family member who's died of cancer and just takes offence at it because of that, because they think you're having a go at their individual situation that you're not. I don't know, man. You either, you make that decision, don't you? That's the thing. I'm trying to, it's me now trying to justify it to myself. Of why I do the sort of material I do. But I genuinely think it helps. I do. I genuinely think comedy helps with, is a way of healing difficult situations in life and making light of them, isn't it? We're all going to have horrendous shit happen to us in life, aren't we? Yeah? Your day's clearly not going that well that you're listening to this podcast. You've got far too much time on your hands. But yeah, we've all got bad situations that go on in life and horrendous things that throw up, and it's making the light of those bad situations, isn't it, that helps you fucking deal with it. You can't, how can you, I don't know how these people can go through fucking life not laughing at fucking horrible shit that's going on, and taking everything seriously. They must be constantly on, looking to be fucking offended by stuff, not relaxed at all. To have that lack of fucking self-awareness and the lack of humour in your life. They must be, I don't know, very, very, very sad individuals, and just causing shit for other people, not particularly for me, to be honest, but, causing shit from a promoter who's like put on a great night of comedy that 99% of the people there have enjoyed it. But it's always the fucking twats that are the loudest, isn't it? It's always the one, and what, it always baffles me what right these people think they have to not be offended. You're at a fucking comedy night, yeah? You're at a comedy night. Is there, half a fucking chance that the person on stage might actually be joking? Do you think he might actually be joking? They might not actually be his genuine feelings about that subject, but it's just maybe a way in to just set their stall out, do you think they might be, just joking a little bit, that it may be just a little bit of a laugh they're having, being as you've at a comedy night that you've fucking paid for, you fucking moron. Anyway, apart from that, I'm sure they're thoroughly lovely people. I don't know. It just baffles me, man. It baffles me. And and you either draw that line, don't you? You either, if you're going to talk about like serious subjects and try and make light of them and try and make them funny, which is like, I'd like to think the way I do it, the way I do comedy, or you end up talking about nonsense shit that, is palatable for everybody. And if you take it the first way, the people who love you will really love you, and the people who don't like you will fucking hate you, and there's no real grey area in there. Or you take it the second way and everybody kind of thinks you're okay. I don't know. It's I find it fun. I find it fun talking about those subjects and trying to get a laugh out of it, and kind of being naughty, and that's the whole environment of a comedy club to me. Saying what necessarily you wouldn't say when you get out those fucking doors of the club, but in the club, I know there's safe space clubs out there now where people, you don't say this, you don't say anything about nothing too sexual, nothing this, nothing that, and then you just pull the heart out of that. That's the fucking beauty of a comedy club. It's the fucking danger element. That you're all having a shared live experience, and you can talk about, and laugh about things that you wouldn't necessarily laugh about, outside of that club. Everyone's got a fucking sick sense of humour. Well, not everybody. Let's have some more coffee. Hang on. But aren't they the fun people? I think, that's one of those things that bonds us together, isn't it? That's how I know that I like somebody, or somebody's on the same wavelength as me. When you sort of like chatting and you first meet them, and then you just like start sharing jokes. If they laugh, they laugh. If you feel like you've got the same sense of humour as somebody, you fucking bond closer together, don't you? That's why everybody on these dating apps and shit like that is like, hey, looking for someone with a good sense of humour. You're not. You're looking for somebody with the same sort of sense of humour as you, so you can bond over that. And that's the thing that's going to fucking you're going to build the relationship around, isn't it? Looks and that sort of thing diminish. Sense of humour doesn't. So it's been a busy week here. Just reading fucking emails that have been sent to promoters about me. I don't know how people have the fucking time to do that, to sit down. One of the people emailed the promoter, the headliner, and me. For fuck's sake. Just email me direct. It's just ben@benbriggs.co.uk. There you go. Boom. Done. That's it. And I probably won't respond. It'll just go... I need to update my filters on my emails. That's what I need to do. I need to update my filters just so it goes straight into spam, and then it's just gone. Because there's no point fucking replying to that shit, because that's what they want, and that's what they want to feed off, and then it becomes a ping pong match with fucking emails, and they're trying to get you to justify yourself. And the worst thing is, we've all seen it in public. The worst thing is, we've seen people apologise and shit like that, celebrities who have got more money to lose than I've got. That's for fucking sure. And and the thing is, it's never fucking good enough. They'll apologise for some fucking remark they've made. They'll get everything cancelled, stripped off them, and it's never good enough. So you might as well just ignore the shit and just carry on with what you're doing. carry on with what you're writing material, trying to get better at the craft of stand-up comedy, because there's always going to be people who ain't going to like it. You could do a fucking joke about fucking kittens and somebody's cats died that week and they'd end up crying and storming out. So, yes. So, it's just a waste of time. Somebody's sitting there going, I was offended by this. Yes, okay. But it's a waste of time emailing anybody about it. You're not going to get, I don't know, they just want that power, that little bit of power, that little bit of attention. I don't know, there might be perfectly reasonable people. Maybe it did really piss them off. I don't know. I imagine, the second person has had somebody who's died of COVID, which, I didn't mention them by name. So they're surely, by the logic of that, you need to dilute your anger by the millions of people who died out there of COVID and dilute it, the anger you're feeling, dilute it by whatever millions it was, 15 million people or whatever, 5 million people around the world or whatever. And if you dilute your anger by that, then, you're probably not going to be that angry, if you dilute it by that much. To be honest, you seem quite reasonable. Like in the last few emails that I read. Obviously, I had no contact with her at all. But I was kept abreast, thank God. I was kept abreast of her feelings towards me and how I am as a human being, because you don't want to miss out on that shit, people. Oh, what's this person think of me who's never spoken to me? No, this is fucking great. It's like, at least if you're dating somebody, they've got a reason to hate you after about 6 months. But this, 20 minutes of listening to me, and I'm up there with Hitler, Pol Pot, fucking Stalin, the lot of them. Holy fucking shit. That's some going. That is some going. I don't know. Anyway, so that's what's been going on in my life this week. That's it just flabbergasts me. That it can have that fucking reaction, when somebody's actually got on the fucking ticket comedy night. Now, it may not be for everybody, but you just sort of like go, that bit's not really for me. What about this next bit? Is this next bit for me? Oh no, that's not either. I don't know. But the thing is, it's pointless. Not that I would apologise for it or anything like that, because it's what you do. You've got to do what you believe in and what you find is funny. And if you start apologising and looking over your fucking shoulder, thinking and second guessing what the audience is like, what is the fucking point in that? You just lose. You lose all, enjoyment of doing that sort of material. And it's not particularly edgy. Like the term edgelord is bandied around in it as a comedian who just goes out there to shock people. But it's just one of those. It's one of those things. Not everyone's going to like it. That's okay. That's how you learn what sort of things you like and what sort of things you don't like, innit? That's why I don't listen to fucking techno music or house music, because it does nothing for me. That's why I like guitar-based bands, isn't it? You experience these things. It's just the audacity of people who think they can live in a fucking bubble and then get fucking, try and get just drop people in the shit all the time. Trying to get things cancelled. Oh, I don't like this, so it can never exist. I want this to stop right now because I don't like it. What the fucking sort of fucking dictator fucking mentality is that? I don't know, man. Anyway, I've spent enough time on that, I think. Have I? Yeah, I think so. You're all thinking, yeah, so, fuck 'em. basically, innit? That's it. You know? I'm sure they're not going to be particularly nice about me, and they weren't particularly nice about me. But we've got broad shoulders here at the Ben Briggs podcast. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, on a positive note, what I would recommend, if you ever take any of my recommendations after what has just occurred, the Ben Briggs complaint line is open, by the way, 24 hours a day. It is manned now by a team of, I might outsource it actually to somewhere like India. It'll be cheaper for me, I think. You know, oh, is that right? Is it, Ben? Cheaper workforce over there? Holy fucking shit. Well, they get paid less. Yes, that's why every fucking company in the UK outsources everything to India. Because they that's the people who you ought to be fucking offended by. People who do that outsource and take advantage of third world countries. Yeah? Where are you then, people? Yeah? When people are getting paid a pittance or jumping out of windows at the iPhone factory, you ain't fucking catching them. I don't know, maybe that's a stretch. Hey, maybe that's a stretch, but it seems that's what you can do, doesn't it? Particularly when you're trying to quote word for word material and fuck it up, don't you? I was looking through, one of the quotes came through and said, Ben Briggs said this, and this. And I actually emailed the promoter back and said, no, that I didn't say that because that wouldn't scan as a punchline. It's too convoluted. There's too much in there. Yeah, it needs to be bang, hit them with that. Then pause for the laugh and then hit them with that. That's what it needs to be. Like too many words in there. So you can tell it's somebody clutching. He said this, he said this, he said this. Well, no, I didn't say that because it wouldn't scan. It wouldn't scan as a fucking joke. The rhythm's wrong in there. You motherfuckers. Yeah. So, I can, if you want to work on your material, I can give you a hand out there if you like. Lady, you want that? Yeah. I don't know. I should have fucking recorded the gig and then just sent the video through. But it was a nice gig. It was a fucking great gig. I enjoyed it. Went really well. I did think at the end somebody did boo, but it was kind of drowned out by. I know that sounds that sounds like, hey man, it was drowned out by the fucking applause, but it kind of was. The gig went well. It was a perfectly great gig. Went really well. Went better than I thought it would, to be honest, because the first gig was okay. It went nicely, but like the second gig, I was like, fucking hell, this is lovely. A couple of applause breaks and things like that. That's what you need, innit? And then 3 days later, you're logged in. You get a report from your Indian call centre saying, Mr. Briggs, we have a problem. I don't know. Anyway. Let's end on a recommendation. I watched the film this week. I'm still getting over this cold, by the way. I know I said that at the start, but my shoulder's still fucking going as well. We're still, we're falling apart here, people. This could be it. This could be the end, couldn't it? My body's deteriorating. There's people with fucking pitchforks and fucking torches lit outside. Bring him out. I watched the film Big George Foreman this week on my fucking dodgy site. It was a cam version as well, but it weren't too bad. It was a bit wiggly. I don't know how people manage to get cameras into fucking cinemas. Now, the only annoying thing about it is there's always like some advert for slot lights. Is it slots lights? .com or whatever bouncing around the screen. There you are. Hey, it's the price I'm willing to pay to not go to the cinema and get annoyed by fucking people like in front of me or being around me. I'd rather watch adverts of some sort of like gambling site popping up and down, bouncing around the screen like a fucking screensaver, with poor quality and a shaky camera, just so I don't have to sit around other people. And this week's events through my email have only heightened that. But it's a fucking cracking film. Because George Foreman's always seen as the sort of like villain of the piece, because you've got the Rumble in the Jungle, the Zaire fight with Muhammad Ali. I think that was 74. I want to say 74. That he lost, obviously, and it was seen as a big comeback for Muhammad Ali and seen as sort of like a big triumph. And he was always portrayed as the villain in that. And the film sort of like gives an insight into how much of a fucking psychological effect that fucking fight had on him, where he came from when he was like really poor, when he was younger and that sort of thing. And it is a real underdog story. And he's always sort of like been, cast off and kind of, apart from the grill thing, the George Foreman grill thing, obviously, kind of sort of like cast in the shadow of Muhammad Ali and probably, Joe Frazier as well. It seems that way anyway. I know he came back and won the heavyweight title, and I think he was 45 or something. I couldn't even imagine getting in a boxing ring. I'm 46. I'd get in the ring. I've still got a cold. My back's aching because I've slept for more than fucking 8 hours. I could imagine getting in a ring and getting punched in the face at this age. I'd be over, man. But I would thoroughly recommend checking out that film. It's a fucking great film. It's like a Rocky sort of film. He finds God. He's just completely fucked up by the whole Muhammad Ali fight. And then he becomes a preacher. Then he loses his money. Then he comes back. He starts fighting. He puts his name on a grill, and the next minute, he's back, baby. He's back. But it's a fucking great film. I really enjoyed it. Anyway, let's end it there, people. My voice is starting to go, and I've ranted enough on this episode. If anybody does want to complain, I ought to have a thing at the end of every episode. If any of the subjects have affected you in any way, please email me, Ben Briggs. Ben at benbriggs.co.uk, and I will be sure to transfer that, to block your email and transfer your email directly into my deleted items. So thank you very much for that. Anyway, that is episode 288, people. I will be back on Saturday, 2 days' time. I know. I will be back on Saturday, and have a good rest of your week. Take care out there. If you feel the need to complain about anything ever in the world, I know we all complain about stuff, and it gives us a little sense of power, doesn't it? I am fucking great and you are fucking wrong. Yeah, we love that power, don't we? We all love that power, but we need to turn it down a notch, people, don't we? We're all wrong sometimes, and I could well be on this too. He ends the episode on that after a fucking 20-minute rant about people fucking emailing. Well, I might be wrong. About certain things, not about that. I'm going to continue doing what I do. Anyway, people, I'll speak to you on Saturday. You take care.